Hey guys, I'm Julie Z and I'm here today to talk with you about one method of making a grand solar spread board. I'm back with a new version of a grand solar spread board. Why did I do this? I've been traveling a lot lately and I've been missing my board. So I came up with a new way to make a grand solar spread that is durable for travel. And that's what I'm going to show you how to make today. What's really cool about this version is it stands up on its own. So you can put it on top of a desk, you can put it on the floor. Maybe if you've got an event that you signed up for or you're going to a client's house, this is something that you're going to be able to take along and it's going to be able to handle the wear and tear of being tossed in the back of the car. So follow along, I'll show you step by step exactly how I made it. Enjoy.
A roll of clear packing tape, ideally clear so you can see the color of your boards. What we're going to do is we're going to attempt to make a hinge so the board can stand. Remember, it's a travel board. And then again, either a marker or some sort of stickers so you can write crown in your crown line. Get over to a printer and print out your planetary glyphs. I like one to be slightly smaller than the other. And then a list of your planetary periods, Mercury through Neptune. I used wide Latin, bold. I believe that was about a size 20. Copy of the life spread. Remember, we're going to use age 0. This is just the natural life spread that we're using. And then this time, you're going to have 3 of these stiff foam boards and 1 piece of the thinner poster board. Again, colors are your choice. Once I've identified the nicer piece of foam board and which part of my poster board will become my margin, I'm going to set the nicer foam board aside so that I don't accidentally use it elsewhere. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the poster board over. Now my margin is right here. So this is the area that I want to reinforce. What I did is I measured the width of the foam board because remember, this is a travel board. It needs to be reinforced. This is too flimsy to carry the weight. So I measured approximately how far up I need to put my foam squares. So let's go ahead and continue to cover this board with foam squares. Next, you'll want to go ahead and peel off the backing of the foam squares. Okay, now it's time to lay our reinforcement board down. This is again what is going to be used in order to balance our boards. So I want to make sure I've got this corner lined up as perfectly as possible. Make sure that this red does not surpass the black. So remember, you want it to rest. It's going to rest on this black board on the back. Alright, now let's go ahead and cut our excess right here. Okay, I've laid down a newspaper underneath my board here because I don't want to ruin my friend's desk. Open up my box knife and you'll see why I prefer these. Now, as a guide, I'm going to use the less nice of the boards that I have here. And again, line up that corner. So if you line up the bottom here, it has no choice but to be straight. And then line up with here. Make sure that you don't see any red, so you don't want to cut into the poster board. You go ahead and run your nice sharp box knife. The sharper the better. Get a branding knife, that's good news. Take your time. Go ahead and make that cut. Hold on. Now we have a backing to our board so it can stand up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that nicer piece and we're going to attach it to the front. When I've done that, I've got a nice solid base here because I put this in the back. Now the next thing I knew, this is the back of the board, is I found out that I might not need a third board at all because the piece that we cut off from here fits perfectly as a stand for the back. So maybe we'll just use that instead. And I figure we can hinge this up with some tape. Now, if you want, you could use that third poster board to reinforce here. And I'm certainly going to put down a couple more of these. Because this is not... Okay, so when we do it, but we'll do two anyway. Right. Now this is secure, but if I wanted to, I could reinforce this as it's reinforced down here, which isn't a terrible idea. So if you'd like to, you could take your additional piece of foam board and cut it out and reinforce just this area. Let's leave that for tonight. First off, let's try and make this hinge. I'm quite excited about it. So I'm gonna about center it. Figure the easiest way to do this would just be to tape it. The allowance for some flex. Let's see how we do here. Stick it to the top of the foam first. Seems like that. I wonder, will it stand? Let's see, it's gonna slide. So we'll probably have to put some tape on the other side. It's all a big experiment, guys. We don't want it to go too far. So a little bit on the top there. So I kind of overlapped it. Just its hinge. See? And that pulls on it. There we go. I think one final adjustment would be another reason I wanted clear tape, to make sure it doesn't go out that far. We'll go ahead and put a we'll definitely need to cover that or it's going to stick to everything in God's name. So I'll just put another piece of backwards tape there on the back side. Very good. So what I've done is I've just put tape here, so this can't go any further. I just double-sided it, stuck it right to the end here, and then put a piece of tape on the back. So when my board stands up, can't stretch out any further. Alright. Now it's time to put the cards on. It's my favorite part. As review from last time, the easiest way to lay these cards out is going to be to mimic the life spread. By placing the cards already on the board, it will also give you a good way to gauge exactly how far apart you want to put them. Grab your life spread and then go ahead and lay it out on this blackboard. Okay, so now that I've got my Neptune rows stuck on and spaced out, I know exactly how far apart my columns will need to be, but I don't know exactly how far apart my rows will need to be. So what I've done is I've taken the Jupiter column and I've gotten a rough idea of where these cards need to be. So my next step is I'm going to basically secure the Jupiter column so that I know where each of my rows will line up. Because I've got my Neptune in place, I already know how my columns will line up. Alright, now I've got my Neptune rows secured and I've got my Jupiter column secured, so I can build the rest of the board around those two areas. Okay, we've attached all of our cards to the board, and I verified that my stand-up structure in the back works out just great. So this board will stand up. The only thing left for me to do is place the planetary periods and the word crown line. And because I don't want these to curl up on me, I'm going to use tape in order to place them. So we're pretty close to done here. We've got all the cards attached. We've done our planetary periods. We've double checked to make sure that our kickstand in the back works, and it does. So the next thing I'd like to do is add some bling into our special family of 7. Okay, I've blinged out the board. I want to show you what I did here. We've got this special family of 7 cards,
And so what I did was the 3 that are fixed and do not move, the King of Spades, the Jack of Hearts, and the 8 of Clubs, they all have a silver and black border to them to show these cards are fixed and won't give up their spots. Now we've got 4 cards left. These cards are going to pair off with each other. So the Ace of Clubs is here in red, and it pairs off with the 2 of Hearts, which is here in red. Every year, these 2 cards swap places with each other. Now there's another pair that does that. The 7 of Diamonds and the 9 of Hearts also swap places every year with each other. So these are in gold to denote that they are also a pair. Pretty cool, huh? Another thing that I did was I put some orange rhinestones above the 8 of Diamonds because that's the sun card of the deck. I also put some crowns above the word crown because, well, I found them and I thought they looked pretty cool. So that's how I blinged out my board. It's going to be a great teaching tool, especially for those who don't understand the importance of the fixed and semi-fixed cards. Well, here's your finished product, and you'll notice that it is standing up all by itself on its own because we installed this handy kickstand on the back. One last step you'll want to take is to continue the reinforcement process by adding that 3rd foam board to this red poster board. So basically cut it to fit, attach it how you like. What you're trying to do is rescue this corner from being torn up in the car or being torn up upon transport. So there it is, guys. There is a travel version of a Grand Solar spreadboard. It stands up on its own and it stands up to the rigors of travel. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today and watching this Grand Solar spreadboard construction tutorial. I hope you got some great ideas for your own travel board. Don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to navigate your fate because I'll be putting out more information on the card science as the months progress. I'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.